Hello, I'm just going to start out with my foundation, and that is going to be the Giorgio Armani Face Fabric. And it's actually in a shade that's really dark for me right now. And then I'm going to use the GTWM from MISA, or MISA, or whatever. And that is in number 1. So it makes the perfect shade for me. And what I do is I combine them on the back of my hand, like so. And as you can see, I have, hyperpigmentation all over my face from past breakouts. And this actually helps it cover. So I'm just going to dot what was left over on my fingers, on my face. And then take the Sigmax F80 brush and apply that. So okay. And as you see, yeah, it went on really opaque at first, but this brush really helped spread it out. I'm pretty much happy with my skin the way it is, which I know that the camera is throwing off a really weird color, like an orangey color, but in real life I look beige. So anyway, I'm going to take the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. This is what I use as concealer. I know some people may use it as foundation, but I just take the Sigmax P86 and, use it as concealer just to touch on a few of the more problem areas that need a little bit more coverage. You may hear like some sounds going on in the background. That is my son playing a video game. And my face is really red because it is hot. Okay, so that is the concealer and foundation, and let me grab my powders. Okay, next thing I take is the SS182 and the Laura Geller Balance and Brighten, and right now I'm in the color Fair because I'm very light compared to my normal color. And I just go over the top, mostly because I have a tendency to get really shiny. I like to keep it powdered down, and I like this one because it is not an overly powdered matte look. It is still sort of luminous. Okay, and as you can tell, I really have some very red water lines. So what I usually do is cancel out the redness with a nude colored pencil. And what I'm going to use today is the Stila Topaz pencil. I really like the Maybelline one, but it is discontinued, so I'm not going to use that. This pencil is very soft, so you don't really need to press that hard. It just glides right on. And if you do too much, it will give you too much product and it'll look like cakey and gathered, so you don't really want that. The next thing I'm going to use is the IT Cosmetics Brow Pencil, or Brow Power. And on one end it has the actual product, and then the other end is a like mascara wand type thing. So I'm brushing out my brows first to try to make them brush into the same shape. So that is about right. And now I'm going to fill in where I'm sparse. To go back over them with the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel, and that is my favorite brow gel. Okay, actually I'm going to put something on my lips. This is the Dior Addict lipstick 422 in Tokyo. I'm not even sure if you'll be able to read that. My lips are quite a plummy color, and that's a peach color. So that's what that looks like. Take the Laura Mercier Eye Basics Primer in Wheat. And prime. I really like Wheat because it actually neutralizes my eyelid. You know, I tend to get red and, you know, stuff like that around there. Mostly because of allergies. I know this is allergy season and my allergies are killer right now. So mostly for that. It looks like this. Open it up and it's got, you know, a cute little mirror that I covered up, and then this little bitty brush. So I'm going to go into this color and put it all over. And it's like a nice taupey color. Okay, now I'm going to take this dirty brush, but it's okay because I wiped it off mostly. Sorry. Then I'm going to go into that darker shade, shake it off, the darker shade of this. And then I'm just going to, bear with me, I'm looking into another mirror. I'm going to accentuate the outer corner of the eye. This is a very typical shape that I do. But I just really like the appearance of, you know, pulling the eye out and making it, you know, lighter on the inside, darker on the outside. Something that I do quite a bit, and you'll probably notice if you look at any of my past looks. So you go and do the other side. I think I may have went too dark on this side. Okay, and I'm just going to take the 222 brush and go into that lighter color again and sort of blend that up into the crease and sort of pull that darker shade in. What?
I forgot to put my jeans on.
Okay, go do it.
Put the brush.
Is the Wet n Wild Creme Brulee. It is the color that I wear on my brows daily. And I'm showing a little pan, so I'm a little proud. Okay, I do like to have an inner corner Uni palette to look into the mirror with, and it is filled with a bunch of my neutral MAC shadows. So I'm just going to take something light that's already in here. It is Shore Leave. And I'm just going to take a pencil brush, get some on there, and really get into the inner corner of my eye. Lovely. Even though it's like a pinky shade, I find that it actually looks good even with like warm and cool tones. Okay, so now I'm going to take the Essence Gel Liner in, I hate how this doesn't focus, the Essence Gel Liner in London Baby. And I'm going to take a 263 brush and draw that onto the lash line. I really like to use this color, London Baby, whenever I don't want it to be so dark and black, and I still want definition. And I'm actually going to attempt to wing it out. What I do is make the line down to the corner of my eye and then pull that in. And then fill it in. People ask me questions on this a lot, so I'll just show myself doing both. Oh, and notice I didn't go all the way in, because what I'm trying to do is open my eye up and bring it out. So I want to keep the inside as light as possible. Okay, so make that same wing and then pull it in. And you know, you're never going to match completely, so I just gave up on that. As long as you're doing the same technique, you should really get the same similar look. And once you're looking at it, I can tell that this one's out further than this one. And I mean, you can try to adjust it, you know, as best you can. This one needs to be brought out just a little more. So that's what I'm doing. And for the sake of using it up, because I'm not really a huge fan, I'm just going to use the Makeup Forever Smoky Lash. And, oh, let me curl my eyelashes. I don't really like it because it just sort of makes them look clumpy. And I'm not a big fan of clumpy. It does look good though with some looks, you know, like maybe some overly dramatic smoky, you know, looks. I think that the color, or this mascara would be really nice with that. But for the most part, I don't really do like dramatic smoky eyes. So I'm not, you know, 100% sure this mascara is for me. And I've had people ask me how I actually apply my mascara. And what I do, which is, I'm not sure I've seen anybody else really do this. But not only do I brush up, but I brush back down because I want to coat the front and the back. And I feel like that helps brush it out. So it helps. Yeah, it adds product to both sides, but you're refining the look over and over. I do understand that if you have lashes that point down, usually you may want to brush them down and then brush them up and not do, you know, back and forth like I do. But that is what I do. And for the lower lash line, I just basically barely touch them. And this is a you know, a different technique that you could use if you are one that hits your top lid a lot. You know, do the bottom first. Which is, I didn't do that on this side, but I don't really usually ever follow any particular order or, you know, whatever for doing my makeup. I just kind of do whatever I get to first. So that's that. Okay, and this is a whole look basically coming together. I feel like mascara is, you know, the make it or break it look, you know, in a makeup look. I feel like if you've done everything else and you don't have your mascara looking right, it could really ruin the look. Okay, so I basically just talked a lot of smack about this mascara as I was applying it, and I'm sort of happy with the outcome. Did it just take 2 or 3 months for it to get right? Because I typically really don't use this very much, and I feel like it actually looks good today. Huh, I was so excited to play with the eyeshadow, I forgot the blush and bronzer, which actually look really pink, but I swear to you I don't have anything. And because I'm not really making sense with anything that I'm doing tonight, I'm just going to go with another color that really doesn't go with anything, but I think it always looks appropriate and good. And that is going to be my Rouge Bunny Rouge Orpheline. See if I can get that to focus. Rouge Bunny Rouge Orpheline. And I'm going to take my Rockin' Republic blush brush and just tap it in there, shake it off. And go up my cheekbone. Which that looks incredibly too much, but it's not. It's just my cheekbones, or my cheeks are actually really flushed right now from the heat. Like, I don't know why it's so hot in my house right now. Okay, so anyway, like I said, this color just always looks really appropriate. Okay, so that is the finished look. I hope you really like it, and yeah, have a good day.